Hey guys, this is Tigress coming back to you with a new Minecraft episode, New Adventures, episode 40. And like always, I went to start and then kinda just didn't know where to go from there. Also, if you hear something in the background, it's my fan. Currently right now in the UK, it's the definition of basically what I use to describe heat for most people in the UK. I can't actually describe on YouTube. Because it feels like F the sun to you. Because it honestly does just feel like the sun's sort of trying to give you a massage. But like, you really don't want that massage. And for a lot of streams, and for a lot of point when I was streaming from like June on, like, gonna include May in this, I think May might have been earliest when I wasn't really relying on it. I don't think I had the fan, I think it was turned off for streams. I used to turn it off when speaking to people. I did, like, an old fan I had, that's technically true, that I do still have now, I just don't use anymore. It basically make a noise, and so I basically turned it off when speaking to people, which would mean typically for about 3-4 hours, maybe about 5 hours each day, each night, I'd be sweating like anything in the summer. Time to jump in, and if anyone is wondering why New Adventures a day earlier, basically, I forgot to put these away, and I do need to get more food. Basically, a last minute change. And by last minute change, I do literally just mean as like, I'm in the mood to stream, why don't I? Every so often there'll be points like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday where I am in the mood to stream, and I probably will. But I try to stick to a schedule of Monday, Tuesday, day off Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday or Saturday. And the reason I say Friday or Saturday is because some Fridays I will be free, so I will basically just decide to go and be like, you know what, I'll stream today. Because at the end of the day, if I have the option of being able to stream on Friday, because my Friday plans change, I'm going to choose that, and then just choose to have like a longer week, like just choose to have a Saturday and Sunday off from streaming, just because why I didn't hate streaming every day for the Batman series and for the Batman Telltale series and for most of Spider-Man. Something I did learn from it was taking a couple days here and there are really useful. Besides, guys, technically speaking, from streaming, all I do technically do is take 2 days off from streaming each week. Fridays, I'm typically out with mates, which means I'm not essentially getting time to relax anyway, because it's typically like D&D or board games, which means instead of just being able to sit and relax and enjoy a game, a few rounds on, like, say, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch, or just say, like, I would say simple, like, a few, like, have a nice bit of simple time on Minecraft, which I don't play much Minecraft anymore. Basically, at the minute, I'm sort of, because most projects I'm doing at the minute are just sort of cases I can get all stuff in the episode, and it makes it, and it's a bit easier because it makes it last a bit longer. But there will become projects where I do need, for instance, yeah, nope, you can say that. The chicken farm. That needed a load of iron that was not worth getting in the episode, because no one wants to see me spend like an hour just sitting in a hole, because that's all that episode would have been. And anyone who says that they do, if I get enough comments of people saying, we want to see you just sit in an hour for a stream, I will, and it'll be a case of, you guys asked for this, you guys get this. Also, the reason why anytime I do come past here, and I just go, whee! I do just want like a load of chicken, so this makes a lot more sense. At some point, I will need to upgrade it. But for now, it's working as well as it should be. Like, I'm getting like a stack of eggs anytime I come past here, and there's like a stack of eggs usually in there. But while we are here, we are also going to give the sheep a nice little trim. Also, guys, I know I did say on Monday's episode I would basically just go and get a load of bamboo. That's what I thought I'd have like 3 or 4 days, and I was basically planning on basically just doing it on Friday morning, sort of Friday afternoon. Essentially, just doing it before like 4 o'clock Friday. So yeah, for the most part, I was just planning on doing it Friday morning. But then I decided, you know what, I'll stream on Wednesday for New Avengers. Because then all it does just mean is I've basically just moved streams forward by a day. Because guys, in an ideal world where it wasn't out Fridays, streams would just be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I then have Wednesday off to sort of plan, come up with ideas, and sort of just think of new stuff that I can do. When I get to say about a stack of each, I probably will. And then have just a weekend to sort of like relax. But because of my Friday night plans, I don't exactly have the chance of. And see, guys, if I was doing pre-recorded videos instead of live streams, which would take up more time, it would just be a case of a schedule is the schedule. Also, I do need to go get more fish. But today we are hopefully going to be trying to get some more progress done on the only thing is, there is a creeper amongst them. Good, I get some nice XP. Bad. And some free iron. I'm basically just gonna go and get some dirt, plus annoyingly one more block of cobblestone. Not even cobblestone, 1 stone brick. And yes, I do have stone on me. I smelted a bunch because I was like, I might need it to essentially fill in gaps. In this case, that works better. Also, guys, I was nowhere near that creeper. I was not that close to that creeper. Although, nice seeing the fireworks display. But guys, for anyone does say, Tigris, you got 15 blocks of iron. I'm trying not to touch them, which means, to me, I've got 26 pieces of iron. Which is kind of annoying, because I was starting to make progress to starting to make diamond stuff, and once I have a full enchantment setup, I basically will. Get all their attention. Annoyingly, if my sword does break, I do need to get that plate. One flesh is one thing I do not need. Annoyingly, I know exactly what's going to happen. I hate baby zombies for that specific reason. Guys, that's the whole. This is where I am. How the hell would you say that's even close? Am I happy to slightly be getting rid of a load of dirt that I've had? Yes. Do I wish it was none of the case of creeper explosions? Or is there anyone who is playing worlds where they don't have access to like carrots and potatoes? Zombies are your only option, I think. I think for now, I am, annoyingly, I'm chucking a bit of light around here. Basically, the odd mob might spawn in here. I very much doubt many. But if anyone like does wonder, the reason I've not repaired that, even though it bugs the hell out of me, and I do plan to go and sort that out today, is because I plan to change everything in this room anyway. So I don't want to do birch oak because then it'll be a double birch like thing up there, and I know it was going to look weird. But what I do want to do is why I think it might be annoying as hell to get. I think cherry's going to look nice. And I just so happen to have a bunch of cherry trees around the area. So, why typically this project wouldn't take... For most people, this would just be one episode. For me, it's a case of... I'm showing you, like, everything. Like, for the most part, I'm the type of person who's like... So, I could either do a full edited video of me going, killing the Ender Dragon and not showing how I got there, or B, spend like 20 episodes just trying to get there, and then show me attempting to kill the Ender Dragon. Because I'm pretty sure since the last time I faced the Ender Dragon, actually, last time I did face the Ender Dragon, I went in diamond armor. I don't know whether it was because of the difficulty, because I don't know what difficulty the world was on. But that thing did essentially turn us all into the equivalent of dirt. The only annoyance I hate with cherry saplings is why I think these look cool. I'm not doing it out of cherry planks. Basically, I love how cherry wood looks. Like, I love the fact of how this looks. What I don't love so much is when you do completely change it into planks, you get rid of all this nicer red texture. Which does, like, don't get me wrong, I think cherry planks can work. Because I used them for the roof, that roof design, and it was a pain. It wasn't fun. But I do think it looks nice. It's just where possible, I'm going to choose to not deal with that and basically just use use the wood. This is the food chest, I need to remember that. I'm gonna need to take like 4 pieces of iron. which annoyingly, no, 5. Because Nax needs 3. Annoyingly, it does mean I probably will spend a bit of time at the Iron Farm in between episodes. Up if I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Guys, can you tell that I'm not prepared for today? Like, most people would just literally have like 4 or 5 stacks worth of like the planks and all that lot. I think I'm gonna need like 6. Like, hold on. Will it let me show striped? I think striped cherry wood looks nice, and I probably will do a pattern. Okay, I probably should sleep first. I'm gonna try and get some of it done today. The only problem is, I'm building out of 2 resources that it's not I don't have easy access to, it's just they're gonna take a while. And those resources in this case being bookshelves, which for bookshelves I need leather. Like, normally it's paper. Paper's normally the big pain for people. Not in this case. In this case, it's leather. I don't know why I started to going off on like sort of a case of I'm gonna sing because I'm not. This trait is staying, and I'm never getting rid of it because I know if I do, I'll never get it back. See, guys, when it comes to me singing, I basically never will on stream. Like, some of the specific things that would get me to, I wouldn't be able to do on a stream. Just because I don't blame YouTube for having strict's not the best term of words, but like strict policies for copyright stuff. I'm thankful that YouTube do. Like, don't get me wrong, as a creator, I love the fact that YouTube basically have, this isn't your content, please refrain, please don't use it. But at points, there are points where it is nice being able to, essentially, for instance, if I could have, when I was doing a review of K-pop Demon Hunters, I don't know whether I could have, I didn't want to tempt it, but I would have had what it sounds like in Golden. I probably would have basically done what it sounds like Golden, how it's done. See, I want to say how it's done, but I've definitely had what it sounds like in Golden. I would have chucked Idol into there. And annoyingly, I probably would have chucked Soulja Boy, not Soulja Boys. I would have basically chucked 2 songs from each, so it would have been Soda Pop and Idol from Soulja Boys, and then it would have been my 2 favourite songs from Huntrix. So, What It Sounds Like and Golden. Nothing against. I'll say, please don't tell me my game's gonna crash. Nothing against how it's done or takedown. I don't want to necessarily chuck Free in, like, because Free is a very weird one to chuck into one set of things. I personally classify it as a duet between Rumi and Jinu, because it's what it is. I know some people would classify it as a Huntrix song because Rumi's the primary singer in it, and she does a lot of the singing in it. But I know a lot of people would turn around and say, Huntrix already have 4 songs, give the Soulja Boys a 3rd, which both points are valid. Soulja Boys only have 2 songs in the full movie. Although, what I did notice, because basically yesterday when streaming I was like, yeah, I'm going to end up rewatching it after this. I was planning on rewatching it 12:30ish. 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'd be done by 2:30, I'd be fine. Then came about 1 o'clock and I was like, yeah, I'm starting to feel like I'm going to fall asleep in the next half an hour. I think I fell asleep about 2. So why I probably could have watched it. I've more than once done the thing of, I'm gonna watch the movie, and then actually fallen asleep. I'm going to try and keep it. Right now, I can. I reckon with stairs, I'm not going to be able to. And either way, I'm kind of fine. Now, the reason why I wanted stone... I probably will just do cherry stairs. I'm basically going to do the whole room like this. I'll show a full wall in literally like 2 seconds. And I will basically just decide along the way whether I like it as one thing or whether I do actually want to do like a patterned wall. Don't get me wrong, I probably will do the patterned wall because I know for a fact it's going to look nicer. But it's slightly just more annoying. Now, part of me is very much debating whether I do corners. But part of me knows I'm going to like it more if I do. I'm basically just getting rid of any gaps on the bottom, and that's basically it. Part of me wants to go and do like a few other like walls. Like I can do this wall and the back wall. But I do potentially plan to have lanterns. It's just for obvious reasons I'm not gonna go and actually put a ceiling. Obviously it won't make much difference here, but what I probably will do is just kind of get rid of like that there, which means those two will be put. I'm just gonna get rid of these. It helps my cause more if I do. But yeah, guys, if I knew for a fact that I wasn't gonna essentially have to deal with copyright problems, I'm pretty sure if I had turned around and mentioned these are songs from K-pop Demon Hunters, go watch the movie. This is a review of K-pop Demon Hunters. These songs are from K-pop Demon Hunters. I mention it every single time, about 5 different times per song. I probably would have been fine. I just didn't want to take the risk, and for literal reasons of YouTube, for the very most, you don't own this content for the simple reason of you can't use this content. To use someone else's content on YouTube, you do generally need to essentially get permission, and I don't know whether someone personally does go and flag down, anytime someone uses a song in videos or that lot, and I don't know what the rules are when it comes to streams on YouTube, because again, a TikToker who I watch called Scone, who does Beat Saber based content, and literally has K-pop Demon Hunter songs playing about. Because someone made that. The fact that they had what was it? That I think one of their videos might have got flagged. Actually, hold on, wait, no, I need to. Because of the fact that I think it was had K-pop songs in, K-pop Demon Hunter songs in, and they were asking how doesn't need to jump essentially through these hoops, and she's like, it's a different thing for streams. Basically, I think on TikTok you're allowed, I think like a minute to a minute and a half worth of content. Time to sleep in the rain. Damn it. But yeah, I think on TikTok you're allowed like a minute to a minute and a half worth of content. So don't ask. It's as bright as anything. See, I'm at one end of where it looks dark and gloomy, and at the other end where it's like bright as anything. It's like, I'm choosing dark and gloomy because it's less blinding. And guys, if I'm saying it's less blinding, and it's not just appearing on like stream blinding, it's in general. So, but yeah, like again, I don't know the TikTok copyright based laws. I don't know the YouTube's ones completely. I just know, for the most part, if you get caught playing songs that you don't own and don't have rights to, or more importantly, don't mention who they belong to, you're gonna have to deal with stuff. Because, again, I can't 100% say for certain it's that you won't have to deal with YouTube coming down, being like, you might want to remove these from your stream or remove a video or that lot. Because I remember playing some Skillet songs years ago in a video. It might have been a stream. I'm pretty sure it was a video. And okay, I need to get to know. And I don't remember YouTube caring. But then there was also other points where I did and didn't mention who the band was. Have I used music since then? Yeah, it's all been copyright-free music though. Because if it's copyright-free, then you're perfectly fine for YouTube. But if it's not, then you are going to have to essentially deal with them going, should you be using this? Like, I know for a fact that a lot of artists won't care. I say a lot, I know a few of them won't, for the very least. But like, also know there will be a few artists that are kind of annoyed at people essentially nicking their music. And I get both sides. As a creator, I at some point wish that, for instance, again, one of my better examples, but I don't know whether the artists behind the K-pop Demon Hunter songs would care. I'm not going to pretend to say yes or no, because, again, I'm not going to start speaking for someone. So, I can't 100% say for certain that a Korean woman is going to care if you do use her songs in your videos. But if you are gonna, at the very least, if you are using songs that you know don't belong to you, at the very least, what you should be doing is putting it in the fact of, guys, these songs do not belong to me, they belong to this artist. And then if you do get asked to take them down, then you should take them down. And the reason why I'm not 100% certain is I mentioned it while playing Spider-Man because I think it was Spider-Man Miles Morales that caused me the problem. I think it was the second part. There might have been something in Spider-Man that caused it. I think it was like episode part 4, part 5 that I had to go and essentially change. Do I know how the change ended up turning out? No, because I've not rewatched it. But in Miles Morales, I eventually did get to the point because I think it appeared again in Miles Morales Spider-Man. I was like, you know what, guys? From future on, I am turning off in-game volume. Do I know whether it's connected up to each one? I have no idea. But I was not dealing with a case of needing to go and snip it out every single time when the easiest solution is just not to have it on. Now, if it was an actual video and I was paying an editor to do it, would I have done the exact same thing? I probably would have left it in one and basically had the discussion with the person in question being like, I have an option to turn it off. I'm not fussed either way. If you're more than happy to edit it out, and I'll leave it. But if you want, I will essentially turn off the in-game volume. Because all it was basically just turn off in-game music sounds. I can't remember the exact thing, but it wasn't that hard and it wasn't that much of a pain. But because it's a stream, I basically was like, yeah, I'm not messing with this afterwards. For me, streaming is supposed to just be a case of I'm in the mood to stream. I want it to be simple. Now it's more of a case of something I get to do a few times a week as a nice fun hobby. Because at the minute, streaming is just a hobby. But if you I'd love to be able to do streaming if YouTube full on and social media in general. But I'm not in the position where I can. But guys, if you are new around here, please like and subscribe. But yeah, so because of Spider-Man, I basically was not taking the risk because I'd had a few times of YouTube basically being polite because I think it was if it was just a generic response, then fair enough. But it was naturally someone from YouTube being like, I could imagine if it was someone from YouTube being like, okay, so this White Tiger person, we've contacted them before about this. We'll be polite again. And if it was someone directly, I'm sorry, I did not know. It is literally one of those cases where it's like, how could you not know? It's like, I never double checked. I probably should have. I 100% should have. But at the time, it's like, do I need to? No, it's fine. But thankfully, we do have a nice little bit of bamboo, so I can make a tiny good bit. I will probably spread a bit more, but again, this will probably get moved forward slightly. The campfire is definitely going to get moved again. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so because of that, when doing reviews for K-pop Demon Hunter, I was not going to risk putting any one of the songs in, no matter how much it would have just been called, just to have a few of them just played during several parts. I was not willing to take that risk because to me, it's one of those cases where a full unlength stream, I could be told you need to essentially at the very least you need to prioritize this. Worst case scenario, they could when it comes to stuff like that, they could turn around and tell you, you need to delete this. You need to delete this content. You need to remove this from your platform. I think if I was in the ability to basically turn around and say in that case, can I at the very least privatize it? Or at the very least unlist it? just because a case of I stream on YouTube compared to Twitch for the simple reason of I like being able to stream and essentially have a series behind it and not just if it like I don't have a problem streaming on Twitch. I've done it a few times, but that's just more of a case of just in the mood to stream sort of thing. But at the minute, 9 times out of 10, if I'm in the mood to stream, I'm sort of in the mood to like stream one of the series. So I'm pretty sure I've streamed Overwatch on Twitch before now. I know I've streamed Marvel Rivals because I think it was like season 1 potentially. I think I streamed 3 episodes of that. I think I might have streamed a bit of season 2. No, I think it might have been season 1. So this is coming on nicely. It's difficult to the point where I'm like, I'm gonna go and decimate half my supply and then basically go and rebuild it all up at some point. Because I keep a bunch of bamboo just in case of breaking case of an emergency, and it's like this is kind of an emergency. I will take like 4 stacks. I will leave like the 45, and hopefully this makes me another like 20. 28. Which means I get another 56 blocks. So again, guys, why it would have been really cool to have the songs in the background while reviewing it, really not worth it. To me, it's a case of pro versus con. Pro, I would have basically been able to listen to songs that I listen to on a regular basis anyway. And guys, when I say regular basis, at the minute on the music app I choose to use, I have a literal separate like playlist with I think all apart from Soda Pop in. And it's nothing against Soda Pop, it's just a case of I don't dislike the song. I think the song has definitely grown on me, but it went from a case of me being like, why does this song exist? Like, I get it. It's supposed to be one of those songs where it's like catchy, annoyingly, and it's supposed to just sort of antagonize the Huntrix because they're supposed to be like, oh my god, and like when in reality it's like, let's just boogie to this. But to me, I've heard it a few times now, and it has definitely grown with me. But it has always just been kind of like one song where it's like, what song's on? Soda Pop? Yeah, okay. Like, I've heard a few people basically say because of how catchy it is kind of a song that they don't listen to, like they don't willingly listen to as much anymore. Like, I don't have it in my K-pop Demon Hunter playlist because I probably will end up chucking it back in. Or chucking it in because, guys, originally there was like 5 songs in that playlist. And it was basically Golden, What It Sounds Like, How It's Done, and Takedown. Because originally it was just basically a Huntrix playlist. 3 wasn't in there because it's basically a collab between Rumi. It's basically a duet collab between Rumi and Jinu. That's now in there. Idol's now in there because Idol is one of my favourites now. Do I think it beats? I think I probably would rank it as number 4 and just move Takedown to like number 5. It's not getting past that because How It's Done is really good, and the amount of edits I've basically seen with people just jumping out of plane. Anytime I see something with skydiving, I instantly have in the back of my head, How It's Done. Deliberately trying not to sing that and make it sound wrong. But like, I just have How It's Done in the back of that, and like, I don't necessarily say anytime I play Overwatch or Marvel Rivals, but like when I do think essentially taking down the enemy, takedowns now is starting to pop up into my head. I probably should. So I'm thinking, what can I do with no bamboo? And it's like, hold on, wait a minute. Duh. Also, guys, I don't know whether I did say anything in Monday stream or whether it was in yesterday's, but like last Friday when speaking to Driver Scotty, because again, Blue Ninja decided to start whistling Soda Pop, and it's like, no, I've just got a song out of my head. You're not putting it back. So as he was dropping me in what was off, it's like, I was like, it is a good movie, and you probably should check out when if you have free time. And then he made a joke of, what free time? And it's like, oh, I know. Now, could I go all the way up and fly and get a bunch? Yes. Am I going to do that? Yes, I'm going to go and grab Toothless now, because I only just thought that it's probably going to be a good idea. I'll also plant a few around. And what it sounds like is another song I think of for like redemption based stuff. Because Rumi, Mirror, and Zoe start singing it when, not necessarily when they're all starting to like redeem themselves, but when they're starting to essentially forgive who they are. I'm looking at Meatloaf's name, it's like, did I misspell it? It's like, no, I copied that directly. Like, I looked up each individual one when doing them. Actually, too, that's probably not the worst idea in the world to get something like... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a bunch. Because there's like two, there's that cherry tree there, and then there's that that's like never getting tailed down. Like, guys, it wasn't even a case of flying far. So yeah, guys, if like basically whenever I do reviews, if there is something like music related in there that's like a big part of it, I will probably mention the song. I will never play the song because YouTube, for the most part, have been nice with me when it comes to, we could give you a copyright strike, we're not going to, but can you please just remove it from your video or from your stream? YouTube have been really nice to me when it comes to it. And when it first happened, I was, yeah. When it first happened, I was kind of like, great, they're being annoying about it. Now thinking about it, it's like, no, they 100% could have taken down the video themselves. They've given me the option, and they've basically warned me, so... Like, I know some people have had to deal with legal actions because of copyright issues. And I don't personally know, I've just heard stories. So, will I take YouTube essentially being, at the time, what I considered mean? Yes. Because at the time, I was like 14. No, at the time, I was like 13 to 14, because it's like 20th anniversary next year. I started doing YouTube when I was 13. Which kind of feels weird to say that there's a part of me that's grown up on social media. Like, not a big part, but there was like a small part of me that has grown up doing social media, and I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that I can look back and see how I've progressed over the time. Like, there was a bunch of old videos that I have privatized. Not deleted, because I did learn from a YouTuber called Jack Sucks Alive, or Jack Sucks, or Jack Matthew Welsh. That just because you don't want the video to be like part of who you are now, sometimes prioritizing it is just a better option. Because there was a bunch of old videos of his that he deleted. So I did learn a lesson, and I just prioritized. a lot of them were just sort of really early episodes of Quest. And I know it kind of seems done. It's like, hold on, wait, that's what started just. It is, but a bunch of the ones I did were essentially me sounding like, oh my god, guys, it's Tigress. And it's like, yeah, no, I really don't. And then looking back at, like, I'm not going to go prioritize anymore because I'm kind of starting to see the funny side of it now. But because of the fact that when doing YouTube, I was 13, which I'm not 100% sure if I'd been through puberty at the time. So I was still young, and it's just a case of looking back at some of my content then. It's like, geez, and like looking back at some of it now, some of the stuff back when I was looking back, like I look back at it like probably 2019, 2020, maybe 2018, and it's like, geez, that sounds so squeaky, and it's like, no, I'm prioritising this. I then looked back at some of that content, I think a couple of years ago now, and it's like, it might have even been this year when I started getting back into content creation, and I was like, just remembering the fact of, hold on, wait a minute, I said I sounded like, I said I sounded like a bloody squeaky rat. I still sound like a squeaky rat. Or still did. Ah, pink petals. That's, okay, that makes sense. The reason I did bring more saplings so I didn't have to wait. Obviously, I will grab any saplings I do see. But yeah, to me it's always kind of just been funny how I wouldn't necessarily say age 3, like, because I've not really had, like, because for me, for YouTube, there was sort of my COD sort of era where I was doing, like, a lot of Call of Duty stuff. A lot of Minecraft stuff, and then there was my Minecraft era where the only content I was doing was Minecraft stuff. I think I potentially did maybe one. You know what? I'm gonna go to sleep. Because why I could read someone toothless in, I'd rather not. Oh, that was funny. But yeah, so there was sort of my Minecraft COD sort of era where I was just trying to figure out what I was doing. Then there was, do I really want to still be doing YouTube era, which is kind of one of those things where I think about, it's like, I can't believe there was a part of me that was like, do I need to? And basically, guys, that part was just a case of, I literally not long had a PlayStation. I was finding it very annoying to be like switching between both to do content. Because at the time, I didn't want my mates knowing, like, Drive Scotty Wolf was the only two people that I did tell that I was doing content creation, that I was doing YouTube. A load of my mates don't know, most of them still don't know. There's literally just a small portion of mates that know I've streamed at some point in time. And I mean, I saved 3 errors. Technically, there's also another error that not many people will know about, and that it still doesn't look completely right. And that era is quite simply pre-YouTube era. And what I'm calling basically pre-YouTube era was the era I wanted to start doing YouTube. There was an idea, there was something I did that I was like, this is really cool, this will work, this will be great. And the whole project basically ended up getting scrapped. Because, guys, basically at the time there was a small group, there was like 5 or 6 of us that were like, yo, we should really do this, and there's a plan to basically do this. I won't say series, it might be more of a movie, this sort of thing, but, whoops. But basically it was this series about this essential, basically the idea technically did come from Bell and Bulldogs. A show about this girl who wants to basically play American football. Except in this case, it was going to be normal football, and by normal football, for any Americans, I mean soccer. And yes, guys, it does physically hurt to turn around and say it, because it's like, hold on, wait a minute. To the rest of the world, it's just football. But to anybody in America, you mean European soccer? It bugs me. It does. It really shouldn't, and I shouldn't care, but it does bug me. Because American football is a lot closer to rugby. It's just a lot more dangerous. And I will willingly admit, it is a lot more dangerous. But then again, compared to rugby, you lot have full out gear. I know I should use a shovel. I don't actually think... I know I do. It's just 10 times quicker. I just want to grab, like, one more tree. And then I will head back and, like, actually start finishing it. But yeah, basically, guys, the idea was this girl that wanted to, you know, play football, but then there was like these guys who were like, no chance, we're not letting you join our team. I played one of the main characters in it, and my character was literally like the captain, I believe, at the time. And he was like, yeah, no, we're not letting the girl join the team. Do I personally think like that? No, but it was more of a case of, unintentionally, I think it was more of a case of trying to represent girl power. Unintentionally, would I go and try and do a project like that again? I'd be willing to redo the project. I would. Kind of. But again, the people that, like... Because at the time, I think there was like 4 or 5 of us. There was me, Wolfers, Driver Scotty ended up getting involved, because he ended up basically taking over for the camera person. And then there was like 2 female friends who were like essential cheerleaders. Because yes, even though like football doesn't, we had them in just because it made a lot more sense than just having like a random girl just be like near the field. I would just sort of fly by to see if there are any. Actually, you know what, I will just give it a quick run around. But the whole idea was just essentially this girl wanted to play football. And the coach was like, yeah, you know what, she seems good enough, let's go for it. But again, this was before I started doing YouTube. I think then the following, I think it was like a year between when we were, and then the following, like, there was someone else who was going to, and then, because there was like me, Wolfus, and like 3 women who were going to do it. Me, Wolfus, and 2 of the women were going to potentially be in the project, and the other one was just going to be filmer. She ended up not coming in, not going to do it in the end. I don't know why. We ended up wanting to do it, and we did a few practice takes. We never did record anything. Again, I would love just to say Toothless Plasma Blast, but I know for a fact that I'd rather not rebuild that thing. I then think like a following. I think it was like the following year. So this was like 2015, I think. 2016, we were like, me, Wolf, Strider Scotty, and the two of the women out of the three, were like, yeah, sure, let's go and do it. We basically, in the end, never decided to do it. I think it was back in like 2016. I think this was essentially a kicking point because I would really wanted to do it because I don't know why. I honestly don't. Like, I can't think of any logical reason why. Being in mind, guys, I then did end up doing YouTube that year, if it was 2016. But again, if it was that same year, I basically was like, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. So me and Wolf started doing Minecraft Quest. And the original part of the series was very similar to Stampy's and Squid's sort of quest series. And the point was, we're going to kill the Ender Dragon, and we'll go for about 200 episodes. Me thinking at the time, this will take like a year, 2 years. Me then deciding like halfway through that period, being like, you know what, why don't we just go for longer? And in the end, we did. Kind of. In the end, I ended up carrying, like, because Wolf stopped coming at a point. In the end, I ended up being like, you know what, no, I'm going to carry on doing it because I'm really enjoying doing it, so. And the funny thing, in the end, Quest is like 180 episodes. Will I ever go back and get up to like 200 episodes for Quest just to sort of be like, done it? Probably not. If I do go back in Quest, I have been back in Quest since. But like Quest to me just seems one of those things where it's like, guys, you can enjoy the fact that it was happened. You can miss that it's no longer around. In between episodes, as long as I do get essentially the walls done, because I reckon I can get a good way. But yeah, so that project in the end ended up getting scrapped. And the funny thing is, me and one of the people in there the following year ended up picking to do drama in high for like, because we had to pick like three like classes that we wanted to do for our last 2 years. I did catering. I picked catering, music, drama. I dropped out in music because I don't know if I've said this, but I 100% was like, I can copy off Drive Scotty, it's no problem. And I took it as, I want to be an idiot. I want to laugh, joke, and, you know, do dumb and stupid stuff. I don't plan to take this seriously. Ha 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 ha. That ended up not working out, and I basically ended up dropping the class near the end of my first year of taking the class. I had like 2 months left before I broke up, and I basically ended up going to do essentially work experience for like a couple months. I then did the exact same thing. Well, I did work experience in the following year, which is how I know working in catering can be a bitch at points, and it's the literal reason why I'm almost never going to be a dick to my server. Okay, anymore. Because of the simple reason of, I've had to serve customers before now, and I'd rather not, and I don't like dealing with customers when they're being, we pay you sort of bullshit. So, I will almost never because of that. But again, getting back to the story. I then think in 2016, come the 4th of May, which I probably will continuously take the joke out of because it is typically Star Wars Day. I did not know for several. I don't know if that's when the channel was created or when the first video came up. I think it was when the channel was created. But again, not 100% sure. But yeah, for that reason why almost every time it comes to like that time, I will almost never, not never, completely forgot what I was mentioning. But yeah, so come the 4th of May, I then decided, me and Wolfus then decided to do a couple of things, and what might have seen as a joint channel at the time, and I basically ended up taking a request. I made the channel in the first place, so it was just sort of a case of someone who was around. Why I don't think we ever made it clear the fact it was that way, and it probably did early stage seem more like this is joint, blah blah blah. So a stack got me, 2 stacks got me pretty far. Basically got me like 2 walls. I think I might just need another. So I then ended up starting doing YouTube. Wolfus ended up not sticking with it, so it's like he then ended up stopped helping me at one point. And in all honesty, it wouldn't be the most practical thing in the world for him to start essentially redoing it with me now, because something that is funny, me, Driver Scotty, Wolfus all started off with Xbox. Yeah, all 3 of us have got different consoles now. I'm primarily a PlayStation gamer. I've gone back on my Xbox like 3 or 4 times since I switched to PlayStation. But the reason I say primary PlayStation gamer is because I use my Switch and my 3DS a lot. Probably once every 3 months I get the itch to replay a new Pokemon game. And by new I mean replay through a Pokemon game. Like next time I get the itch to play through a Pokemon game from beginning to end, it's probably going to be White 2. Just because out of all the Pokemon games, it's one of the only ones I've not played, not including the first 3 generations, and I'm not including those for the simple reason of I'm not rebuying a Game Boy or a GameCube or whatever goddamn ass console that you can play them on just to replay a worse version of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, being Ruby and Sapphire, where I say worse version. I'm including Emerald in this, they all have their perks. I don't fancy dealing with one stupidly, restfully stalled Kingdra. Because I've seen people do it, I've seen M and JTV do it when with like on like 3 different videos, and it was like, I hate you. Red, blue, and yellow, I basically never will because I've got Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and even if I was to go that far back, I would 100% just play 5 red, leaf green. And I've played a bit of Crystal. But like I'm pretty sure as far as I got in Crystal was basically I got up to Red Gyarados, got the Red Gyarados, transferred it out. I would have continued and potentially tried to finish that save file, but I then transferred the Red Gyarados out. I then wanted to transfer it to I think it was X and Y or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire I wanted to transfer it to. Couldn't. End up transferring it to Pokemon Sun. I was about to say Pokemon Moon, but no, it was Sun, and I ended up using that with an Incineroar. Primarina is always my favourite, and it's always going to be a starter I say was my first starter for Alola. Just because, why technically it's not. To me, it's a case of I didn't want the overlap. I wanted to use a really cool Gyarados. And it wouldn't make sense to use Primarina and a really over-leveled shiny Gyarados, who could Mega Evolve. I don't think I ever got that Gyarados to Mega Evolve, because to get Mega Stones in Alola, you had to win so many games in, I think it was the Battle... I don't want to say Battle Tree. I think it was something Battle that you had to win so many games in, and to me, it's like, why? Do I love using Mega Evolution? Yes, 100%. I love, like, it's the reason why if I was to play through Hoenn games, I'm basically only ever going to play through Alpha Sapphire, or not Alpha Sapphire, Aurus. Because I love using Mega Latios and Latios. And I love using Mega Lucario. Like, guys, for literal reasons of, I have shiny hunted, and I would have done it with the same for the Mega Latios, but they're shiny locked. And I don't fancy doing it the other way. Because there is a way how you can shiny hunt legendaries up until Gen 9. And if they do exactly what they've done with some of the legendaries in Gen 9 and basically make it so you can get them unlocked by Terra Raid battles, then I potentially might. Because then it would make every legendary shinable. Kind of. I think there's a few mythicals that still aren't. But the only other way to essentially get a Mega Latias or Latios that's shiny is to go and do Crown Tundra, to do max raid battles, which would mean doing max raid battles with NPCs. I don't fancy doing max raid battles with NPCs. So, and even then, I don't have the shiny charm in Sword and Shield. Because up until, like, granted there are a few Pokemon in Sword and Shield that I never would get. Because, like, they're a pain, and I don't really, like, I don't know whether Nintendo basically realized a bunch of people are basically doing this to sort of cheat the system. I will basically do every block apart from that. Again, this stream's going to be slightly longer than normal just because I want to get this wall done. The roof, I'm tempted to say I will do in between episodes because I don't know what I'm going to do for the roof. You know, at some point I will do the roof in between episodes. Because I need an actual reason to, like, basically for me to jump onto new adventures without... Because, like, for instance, Iron, I'm going to have to, and I probably will do something like Friday morning. I will probably also, with Dirt, lay out where I want the enchantment table. And the enchantment book, and the books and all that lot. But, yeah, guys, so there was... Before I started doing YouTube era, there was the Minecraft COD sort of era YouTube. There was... Layback, I'm not really bothered, like, YouTube era, and then there's the new era, which is trying to give it all I can within a reasonable amount. Am I out here chucking 100% into it? No. Am I still chucking about a good 80% of effort into every video or every stream I do? Yeah, I'm still trying to put my best work out there without completely overloading myself and completely pushing past my own limits. Because at the end of the day, I'm still only human. Which means I'm not a robot, which means I can't physically, sit and record for 40 hours a week and barely have any sleep and then edit 40 hours worth of content a week. Also, for now, whether it'll stay long term or not, because there is a very small chance in the future I might decide to, get rid of the streams for Thursday, Tuesday, and Friday, and just turn them into videos and turn them into 45-minute videos instead. Do I think I could get through a game of Overwatch in 45? Kind of. I think it'd be a push. I'd do it with Marvel Rivals, but that's quick play. So, slightly different. But as soon as I have done the walls, I will basically be done for stream for at least this episode. Because I'd like to get basically the kind of goal is 5 days worth of episodes, which doesn't seem like much until you actually do realize. Right, sleeping that's an hour and a half. With sleeping, that's still 58 minutes worth of content. And why I know for streaming it's not that long, but I prefer New Adventures being shorter, quicker based episodes. Not, oh my god, these as long as anything. I know this is going to bug a load of people. But in my defense, I don't have a defense. I just can't be able to go run back to make it an iron axe when I've got to run back anyway. I will go and plant these down, make an iron axe, and then grab Toothless and fly off again. So, I'm not going to I'm just going to go and cut down next to those 3 or 4 trees. Because it's kind of weird to think about at some points that if the fact of me and 4 other people, because what I'm presuming would have happened is either A, we would have done it into a movie, or B, it would have been a mini series that we try and do say once a week. I'm an idiot. And then I'm presuming Dry Scotty would have just taken over for the one person who ended up in the end decided not to. I can't keep making mistakes. Not until I go and spend an hour at the Iron Farm. Which, kind of tempted to do after this, I'm not going to do after this. For the very simple reason of, I'm hot and sweaty. All I want to do after this finish is go and grab a cold drink. And guys, when I say cold drink, what I do really literally mean is grab a glass, grab some juice, grab some ice. Do I still have any rotten flesh lying around? Yes, I do, as long as I'm quick. Because the benefit of literally having a very small, it's not that big, it's a small ice mini little tray thing that gets kept in the freezer, is it's for my actual bottle I use at night, it's not great because it's more of a pain to get the ice cubes in, but for a glass, 4 of them just fit perfectly. Also, guys, yes, I am kind of one that, not completely anyway, it doesn't completely bug me, but I am kind of one of those people who is oh, great, ice in my drink from Mackey's. It doesn't bug me, it's just, it's nicer that they're cold, and I'll take them being cold over not cold any day of the week. It's just, I like to whinge every now and then, and I find dumb stuff to whinge about every now and then. Although I will say, since playing Yu-Gi-Oh, my whinging over dumb stuff has basically just turned into, why the hell is this banned? Why the hell is this not being banned? Why the hell is this still legal? Guys, to this day, I still think Baron de Fleur and Border Tower Dragon aren't that bad. And that there are far worse cards in existence than it. Does Border Tower Dragon basically allow you to negate a few things every turn? Yes. Do you need a Link Monster to activate its full effects? Yes. Do you only get those full effects when you have a Link 4 or Link 5 in the grave? Yes. And by that, guys, I mean you don't get the full case of being able to do it every single turn for 3 or 4 turns. Unless you have a Link 4 or 5 in the grave, because you then don't gain a really cool like power-up. Like in a Border Savage deck, if you send Border Savage to the grave, by it being destroyed, or Border Sword, or Border Guard, or another Link 4, and then summon Salvage, you then have a 4500 attack points, the same as Blower's Ultimate, with negations, with the ability to say no. It's glorious. I want to say 47 is enough, but I know it's not. I'll do 2 more trees. And then does Baron de Fleur basically allow you to turn around and say no and destroy stuff on your turns? And does it basically give you a full effect of being able to recycle it? Yes. I still don't think it's that broken. Like, guys, there was literally a card called Apollo Bow of the Goddess that has the ability to say no to stuff anyway, without any real cost. I say without any real cost. Yes, you pay 800 life points into the Link monster and you can't pull it into defense mode. But, guys, consider the fact of that thing can activate its effect more than once per turn. It's per chain. It loses 800 attack points every time it does, which means it does become weak enough to be destroyed. But that thing can have 32,000 attack points. 3,200. Granted, you need to use 4 monsters. I will give you that. It's not the simplest things to burn out. But again, Access Code Talk allows you to pull off very similar levels of... mass plant them around. Toothless. Let's just go. Wrong way. Right way. At least I want to say it's the right way. I'm not 100% sure. If I come over this hill and I see the iron... farm, I know where I am. Is tracking down the house going to be the most pain in the ass thing in the world? No. Not with the fact that I have stream up on my phone and I can just wind back and when I was last at my house, but I can't remember. If I'm remembering correctly, $23.70. Guys, have I literally just gone back to a point where I was close enough to my house to be able to get back? Yeah. $269. Okay, so I basically just need to go this direction a tiny little bit. I don't know the fact that I'm going to say that stamina. I don't actually know. I'm presuming it's a stamina bar. It makes sense. There's the house. I thought I might have to do plan B, and plan B was hope I survive. The temptation just to install an add-on that basically just means I get 2 giant ass doors. It's really tempting. And see, guys, this is an annoying thing when people like think I'm not productive. There are moments where I'm productive as anything. Like I grabbed a stack. I actually think it was about a stack. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, I grabbed a load of. I grabbed a good bit of carrots at the beginning. I almost gone through all of them. I swear down, if I need more, then it's getting told tough luck. Will I purposely leave a gap knowing I could easily enough sort it? Yes. Scratch that, I'd go and find the ugliest block I can think of. I hate when they play it wrong. But for anyone who is wondering, because I know I've not mentioned it, there probably will be an extra stream on Saturday for Marvel Rivals. Just because, like, I'm not saying I'm not enjoying Overwatch in a minute, but it's more of a case of with Overwatch, I tend to play a lot more competitive. I will mess around with stairs and all that lot. I tend to play more competitive, but the annoying thing is, and for Thursday, for tomorrow's stream, it's not going to be that bad because it's basically just going to be messing around with a new hero. Literally all tomorrow's stream is going to be. So if that doesn't intrigue you, then tough luck. Because basically, I thought it was sooner. Turns out it's right near the end of the season. Or at least this one is anyway. But the new hero, Wayang, I will try and pronounce his name in stream tomorrow. I did say it earlier, I did see his trailer earlier. He does seem cool. I'll probably spend like 10 minutes in the training against like bots, seeing all of his abilities and all that lot, and I'll try and go for a few games and like test him out, but all that will come tomorrow. The ceiling I will try and do in between now and Monday, no promises. But again, I don't know what to do. Part of me is just tempted to, again, I have no idea. Part of me is tempted just to do a pink ceiling, like pink slab ceiling. It would be on brand. It would be the first time I've done a pink roof. So, there is that. Also, the only reason like I did that is that because whether the fact that the complete fenced around worked, that personally to me just looks a bit more secure and actually looks a bit nicer. But yeah, guys, so the reason there will be, if I do an additional stream, it will be Marvel Rivals. Any additional content in a minute will just be Marvel Rivals because, again, that season's newer out. And B, I typically do quick play games and I do a few more on there. And I do have something I want to try and level up. And if I can do more of it on stream, the better. Sorry about that, guys. But thirdly, I'd rather one stream where we're basically just playing who knows what and then me needing to think of two. And there is a small chance that I might just decide to go, you know, guys, we'll do 2 Marvel Rivals streams next week and then just do 2 in the beginning of the new season. I won't, because it will just be a case of, guys, last stream before the end of the season. It won't be the last game I play before the end of the season. The last game I play before the end of the season will be a week on Monday. Will be that, like, it'll be the following Monday. So it'll be like the 27th. Because the game updates on the 28th. Am I expecting any new skins in next week? No. Have there been some new ones? They'll have, but you'll find out tomorrow. Not bad ones either. So, anyway, guys, this is Tigress. Hope you've enjoyed. And I hate how the fact I have to keep taking off the helmet to actually. But again, it's better armored, so. Anyway, guys, this is Tigress signing off. Hope you've enjoyed. You've been lucky this week, but basically, I've just sort of moved things around because it worked out better this week. As be back to normal next week, but either way, guys, this is Tigress signing off. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!